we would have to stop being in a position where we're just generalizing it and saying who broke it. Now we can identify who's breaking it. Then we look beyond party interest, because it shouldn't be about if you're a Republican and you broke it, we're going to give you a pass because you're a Republican. Or if you're a Democrat and you broke it, we're going to give you a pass because you're a Democrat. No, if you broke it and you refuse to acknowledge that you broke it and you're not coming alongside of us to help us fix it, then we need to hire another plumber, or we need to hire another electrician. Let me explain it like this. As an entrepreneur, if you call me over to fix your plumbing, if I don't leave your house with that plumbing problem fixed, you're not going to pay me. What you're going to do is hire another plumber that will fix it. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Why are we going to the polls and just because you're a Democrat, I'm going to pull a Democrat because you're a Democrat? Or why am I going to the polls and pulling Republican because you're Republican, yet the problems are not fixed? So what I'm saying is, let's fix the problem. Of course we need to fix the problem. But let's not leave out the step of making sure we understand why it's broke. Now, when you get to the black agenda, what I'm hoping is that we don't do like they did back in the late 90s, early 2000s when they were trying to do this. And you look at the archives and you'll see that that's the case. This is not a new process. Yet we're still talking about the same stuff that they were talking about that never ever got done. So let's make sure that when we attempt to do this again, we examine who is at the table so that we're not trying to have our children fix it.
That's good.
But I'd say a point of clarification, though. The last time it was attempted, it was city-led. It was not community-led. Okay. And because it was city-led, you have the hiccup of bureaucracy and turnover and changes in elected officials and who holds a thing. We are finally in the first space of hopefully having a community-led agenda. Community-led, community housed, community held.
And it has to be that way. So I'm going to challenge you. It cannot be up to the shoulders or in the hands of any elected official. November 6th or January 1st, whoever you plop in there is not going to miraculously change everything. It has to be community-led.
And when you say community, I want to see total community, because we have, especially in Indianapolis, we have this pocket where it only reflects a portion of our community. It's always, go there. It's always the educated blacks that are at the table. And it does not include those residents who are in that 46218 area or who are in that far east side area. I don't see them. Kudos to what y'all did last night. I wholeheartedly support it. But at the same time, I didn't see those people reflected there in that discussion. And so I'm a servant leader. I'm operation boots on the ground, and I'm more drawn to those people who are not there versus, not to say that we aren't, because I'm educated as well, but in order to turn things around, I feel like in this city, we have to be more inclusive of them. And I ain't gonna say those people. We have to be more inclusive of all of our brothers and sisters. Has to be a part of this conversation.
Absolutely. I think one of the things though that we also kind of need to put some onus on all parts of our community. We know that every location isn't the best location. And so moving the conversation around, having many versions and opportunities for people to participate at different times in the schedule, different locations, close to bus lines, places with childcare, or providing it in different ways. But the other flip side to that is when someone comes to your church, when someone sends you the calendar of events, when someone says, I really want you to come, I'd love for you to participate in this conversation. Several of us were really let down because we did some outreach to get folks there that we really wished would have shown up that didn't come. And it means we have to do some digging to understand the why, right? And we have to do the work. And so I wouldn't say that there's not a lot of progress to be made. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the progress is also in when someone comes and says, we really need your voice in this conversation. I don't want to leave out the true, genuine, authentic voice of our entire community. I'm almost at a begging stage of show up.
Yeah, we definitely have to show up
because instead you're always going to blame the folks who called the meeting.
And I'm not blaming you.
Oh no! But I'm saying the folks who called the meeting, planned the meeting, build the meeting.
What are we doing to get them there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we have to have some onus on every side of the conversation.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
By no means. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying usually reflective of that conversation is that piece that's always missing. So I'm saying you have to figure out why they show
that's
up.
That's everybody's job.
Yeah.
Why were folks missing? What is it that we can do to go beyond that? And we have to continuously work on that. That is going to be a work in progress. And a constant evolution.
And I think it's with good intention. I just think people are unaware. Mm-hmm. And to me, let's put that out there. We have had a few that have already happened. So this was a busy week. Monday, Senator Merritt put out his plan. So if you weren't at the Central Library, yes, you did miss that opportunity, but that's online for you to figure out what he said. We keep saying yesterday we were at the Galilee Baptist Missionary Church as a phase 1 of a community conversation. There was one again this morning at the Julia Carson Center. So what you haven't missed, so starting again Monday, so our current mayor is going to put out his plan for a Black agenda.
Oh, now he is going to have a Black agenda.
So that's what we're waiting for.
He will be there at 1:00. I mean, at noon.
That's
at the Central Library.
So he has got the same opportunity. I believe he is going to share a plan from his perspective of what he plans to do. So again, at the Central Library, Monday, October 21st at noon. That's an opportunity that's open and free to the public for you to listen. And then there's a Q&A session. The other piece, although this is not on the shoulders of our mayoral candidates, but we do have a very historic and awesome event. Also, October 21st at doors open at 5:30 at Arsenal Tech. So this will be a mayoral debate with 2 of the 3 candidates running, and they're going to go there. They're going to talk about, hey, this is our plan, and this is how we address it, and it's going to be open and free to the public, so all people should come to Arsenal Tech and listen, but have their voices heard. This is an opportunity. And then because this is beyond our political system, on Black Friday, which lands on November 29th, there'll be a live Facebook town hall with the Indie Black Chamber. So those are the dates that are on the calendar today, and I do believe it's the intention of AACI and all of its community partners to continue to put dates out there. And then, the onus is on us to get that out there so people are aware of them, but show up.
Okay. We're going to go to commercial, y'all. Got to pay another bill. So you are tuned in to Let's Go There with Cassandra. We are talking about Your Voice Matters, Rock the Vote. We're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back, and we're going to continue this conversation. We got 2 more questions that I want to get through. So if you guys can rock with me for these last 2 questions, because I don't want to stop the dialogue. It's very good. I appreciate it. All right. We're on commercial break, y'all.
Have you ever experienced the stress of dealing with a loved one during a disability or seen the chaos after the death of someone who's died? Well, Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm specializes in helping guide families through such traumatic events. They're committed to helping individuals create a personalized estate plan that meets their expectations. The firm is comprised of individuals that believe in education, maintenance, and collaboration. They believe that estate planning should focus on providing you with a plan that reflects who you are, maximizes your control during life, protects you and your wishes in the event of a disability, and provides the instructions for carrying out your legacy at your death. If you're in need of wills, trust, power of attorney, guardianship assistance, Medicaid services, or probate administration, contact their office today at 317-572-8696 or visit their website at www.estateplanners.org. Norton Estate Planning and Elder Law Firm is committed to protecting your dignity and securing your legacy.
Okay, now we are back. We've had some offline conversations. You are tuned into Let's Go There with Cassandra. We are talking about Your Voice Matters, Rock the Vote. And Adrian, we were talking about how you've gone door to door in some of those communities that we feel like need to be represented. And the feedback that you got is, I'm not welcome there. That saddens me. It really does, because I come from that environment. And so I think that's why I fight so hard, because yeah, I have degrees and I'm educated, but at the end of the day, I'm just Cassandra from the block. And I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard and everybody's represented, because if we want change, it has to be all inclusive. It can't be the black elite. And a lot of times in this city, that's what happens. The black elite leads a lot of these initiatives and we leave behind our people.
Yeah, but
we got to restore.
We have to work. Everyone has to do the work. We all have to go places we're not comfortable. We all have to have conversations that aren't easy. We have to, as a community, be willing to say that uniting for the greater good of everyone who looks like us and beyond matters enough that we're willing to do some cross-aisle reaching and growth, because I don't think any of us are perfect. I don't think any of us should stand to believe that we are. We are all works in progress. But a lot of times that means to grow, you have to become uncomfortable.
I agree.
So,
question 7. We're going to turn up the heat a little bit. We do not have a police department that reflects the community they serve. With that being said, if you were elected, Dwayne, how do you plan to work with public safety officials to ensure we have a department that reflects the demographics of the city? So that includes more minority recruitment, culture, competency with officers who are already in place. What would you do?
Great question, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to note that I currently serve as the president of the Citizens Police Complaint Board. And that is a group within the city of Indianapolis that handles complaints and issues that we as residents or as the community have with the police. Say you have a negative encounter, you've been roughed up or talked to roughly. That's the place where you can say, hey, a police officer did something wrong. And because of this opportunity, I have I've been in a position to see IMPD through a different lens. And I don't want to downplay or spin a negative light on our IMPD. We have a tremendous police force here in the city of Indianapolis. We have men and women that do a phenomenal job putting their lives on the line on a day-to-day basis so that we're all safe. Now, are there some bad apples? Absolutely, there are some bad apples. Can we make improvement? Yes, we can make improvements. But here's one of the things that we need to consider as we're talking about a diverse police force. We have a very challenged and strained relationship as the black community with police in general. So now you're saying, hey, black people, join this police department that you don't even trust. Right? I mean, that's what we're saying. We're talking about diversity. So you're saying, hey.
I'm just laughing at how you say that. Hey, black people.
Yeah. But that's in essence, that's what we're doing. And I think that's the wrong approach. Instead of just, hey, black people join the police department or brown people join the police department, let's work on fixing the relationship or the image that we as black people have of our police department. And then once we have a system that we can trust or that we feel comfortable with, then that's something that we might be more willing to join.
It's working on inclusion before diversity.
Yes.
And how do you do that?
Instead of just complaining about what the police don't do, take some time to get to understand the why and the training and get to see it through a different perspective.
Because you're right. Right now, there's this meme on Facebook going around that says, if you're black, don't call the police. You know, have somebody, your family member, do a wellness check. But don't. The last thing you need to, with everything that just happened with the young lady in Fort Worth who lost her life in her own home, you're right. I mean, our trust has already been broken. And now it's even more fractured, knowing that just being in your home can get you killed. So my question is, I know that's not how they were trained. And from a wellness perspective, officers are trained to go and knock on the door and identify this man goes around the backyard and starts as a prowler. So what, from a training perspective, what can be done to train our officers to be, you know, address those implicit biases and be more culturally aware and interact with our community? Because I do believe community policing is huge and is an important step to repairing that relationship.